So in today's video, we're going to be running through my honest income shares experience, my 1 year review. When we got down here to the 1 year mark, right now NVIDIA and a couple others have all been out for 1 year, and I said I was going to do a review within the data that we've got as soon as we hit that 1 year mark, and that's what we was waiting for. So this is my honest review and what I'm about to present, all the data that we've got so far. So would I invest in these funds again? Let's find out, shall we? So 12 months ago, I said that we'd have enough data to judge if these were good investments. Well, now we do. We have all the data, and we can have a look at that and pick for ourselves whether you think these are good investments or not. So let's break it down. The 1 year total return so far that we've got. I have added some competitor fund managers in here, so you can also see side by side exactly what kind of returns other fund managers get into. So we've got Income Shares, Coinbase ETP, for example, at 2.39% return on a 1 year basis, which is not looking very good so far. YieldMax at COII has done nearly 13%, where we've got the Roundhill one done 35%, Rex Shares one's done 25%. So as you can see, underperformance by Income Shares all the way. Tesla ETP by Income Shares has done minus 1.5%. Then we have YieldMax. TSLD has done nearly 7%. And then we have the Kurv products and Rex products. For example, Kurv has done 21.14%, and the Rex product has done minus 1.79%. So underperformance again by Income Shares. NVDD ETP has done 8.17%, where YieldMax NVDD has done 17.44%, and then we have Rex Shares has done 18.44%. So again, we have underperformance by Income Shares. Amazon ETP, we have 16.05%, and then we have YieldMax AMZD, which is done 11%, and then the Kurv products done 13.78%. So as we can see right here, Amazon ETP by Income Shares is actually the one that's performing the best out of them all. And there's no reason why I picked these ones. I've only picked the ones that we can actually compare to other fund managers, what I've got the recent ones out. That's the reason why I've done these. For example, Gold ETP for Income Shares has done very, very good, but I couldn't really compare it to any of the high yield fund managers on here because they haven't got a fund. So some products have done very well, as we've seen, like Amazon. Another one is Google. Google's up 9.88%, whereas the rest of the fund managers, that's a negative. We've got YieldMax GOOO, which is down minus 6.5%. Then we have Kurv GOOO, which is down minus 8.22%. So some funds from IncoShares are actually outperforming the other fund managers, but 90% of them are actually underperforming, and they're actually being the worst performing fund manager for 2025 so far. Apple ETP down minus 6.45%. YieldMax Apple down minus 6.43%, and Kurv AAPY down minus 2.6%. Then we have Meta ETP plus 22.14%, and then YieldMax Meta plus 34.87%. So looking at this data that we've got right now, all of the Income Shares products, apart from Amazon and Google, are actually underperformance from other fund managers. So all this time we've been using YieldMax as, let's say, the base of what is expected from a high yield ETP. That is not what's happening with Income Shares. We are not seeing active management for the last year. We're not seeing these kind of products get the returns that YieldMax are getting. So the expectations of what was supposed to be set the bar has not been happening whatsoever, and this is a real problem. So total return matters, not just yield. There's no point in getting a massive yield if you're not getting total returns. Yes, some of the funds have paid out massive monthly premiums, really big premiums for us. But the real question is, did you actually make money? Once you factor in the NAV drops, etc. For many who's invested in Income Shares over the last year, the answer is no, especially if you were in from the start. If you invested on inception on NVIDIA and the first three that come out in July, September 24, you're actually at a negative total return. And even if you reinvested the income, you're still buying back into a falling asset. It's not really building wealth or building income at all. You're just treading on thin water. That is one of the real problems. So total return is what builds financial freedom and builds your income and builds your wealth long term. So this is my honest take after 1 year. There is only 2 funds that has actually bet any of the other fund managers out of all the Income Shares ETPs, and that is Google and Amazon ETP, which has outperformed the competition That's a very, very weak hit rate by IncomeShares. Of course, Gold ETP has also outperformed, but I couldn't compare that to another fund manager. So give credit where it's due. Gold ETP has done very, very good by IncomeShares. But other fund managers have actually crushed it as well with these ETPs. For example, IncomeShares Coinbase ETP has been 2.39%, whereas Roundhill's got 35%. That's not just a little gap. I mean, that's just two funds on a different universe. That is absolutely active management. Same goes with the YieldMax version. I think it did 13% also. It's still another 10% over what IncomeShares has done. Then we've got Tesla, Meta, NVDD. It's all the same story. They're just not being managed correctly, in my point of view. Other funds are simply being executed better. And it's as simple as that. So why exactly did it happen? So while Rex and YieldMax and Kurv adopted volatility, IncomeShares stuck to the passive, rigid, 5% out the money covered calls. It's an outdated strategy, which was never probably going to work long term. But once you start comparing these to a fund manager, you realise like how little IncomeShares actually was doing. Even when they stopped working, they should have adapted to the market situation that they were in, like other fund managers done, and they haven't. We just kept getting shares called away, losing them, etc. So this is why this has happened. No active management and no engagement. Investors were left in the dark with little communication, little to no marketing, and they wasn't really building a community when they could have on X, for example. Instead, they just left us with falling NAVs and vague X posts, which was, it really boggles my mind still to this day why they were doing that. They could have just, even the marketing side could have been way better from IncomeShares. But finally, we got them to change the strategy. They knew something was wrong. They've shifted the strategy after 6 to 12 months of people saying stuff on the Twitter, etc., and leaving bad comments. So they're finally adjusting to the market conditions, which should have been done 6 months ago, in my personal opinion. This might be the turnaround that they actually need, but here's the truth, and this is the full truth. How I run my portfolio is on data, and if I discovered IncomeShares today, there is no way I would invest. If I looked at the data today, and we've got minus percentages in total returns for a year, or for example Coinbase 2% for a year, there's no way I would invest in that. I'm sorry. But what I'm doing about the IncomeShares underperformance, we've got to be real here. Some of the ETPs just aren't performing right now, and I'm not going to babysit dead weight inside my portfolio. I'm not going to wait about for this new strategy for IncomeShares to work. Yes, it may work. Yes, it may not work, but you can't wait about on words by people, in my opinion. So high yield means nothing without total return, in my personal eyes. And a lot of the total returns are either flat or negative, or really just positive. So if it's not growing or compounding, it's not staying. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to sell out while I'm in the red. I'm going to be reducing my allocations to IncomeShares products once they hit green. For example, I think I'm just green in NVDD ETP. I'm going to probably sell out of NVIDIA ETP when I get to, I think I'm about 14% on NVIDIA right now. I'm going to probably sell it down to 5% and then keep that 5% and just keep watching it and see exactly what happens with the new strategy. And hopefully the new strategy does work and these funds start getting total returns, because that's the main key. You're in every single investment, whether it's growth or whether it's income, total return is the main key. Even in growth products, you still want your share price to go up. That's how you make your money. It's simple capital gain or an income gain, which you will get a total return from. The truth being said, we're not seeing that right now. So I'll be rotating my capital into funds that are actually working, like YMAP seems to be doing very, very good at the moment, showing strong, stable NAV potential and dividends long term. So funds like these is what I'm going to be looking at. We've just had new shares come from Rex shares. So there's got those to keep his eye on as well. And there's a lot of other products that we can use within the markets now. And there's going to be a lot coming also this year. So we need to stay tuned for that. I'm going to closely be monitoring every new high yield ETP that's going to be launching this year. So sticking to what matters is total return. Total return trumps yield. So if you're not seeing growth or meaningful income, the investment is irrelevant to me. So I think that needed to be in this honest review, because the thing income shares are lacking is total returns. And they've not adapted to the market situations when they've needed to, which is a real shame. So I'll still be tracking the underperformers for educational purposes, but when it comes to my capital, I'll be moving it to the winners that are actually giving me total returns long term. So looking ahead, do you think YieldMax will steal the show? Or do you think it's going to be Rex Shares, another product from Han ETF? Do you think another fund manager is going to come to the UK markets, European markets, and take over? Because right now it's looking like YieldMax are setting the scene for active management and options strategy. YieldMax have just landed in Europe. They've brought MSTY and YMAP, and they're already showing signs of total returns, smarter option strategies, yields, stable NAVs, etc. So it speaks massively when income shares have been in the markets for 12 months and they've got 52 million AUM as assets under management. YieldMax have been here a couple of months and they've got 32 million already. So the momentum is clearly shifting, and that says for itself. So final thoughts, and I've got a question for you. I'll continue to track the ETPs for another 6 months, especially now that income shares are changing strategy. But if the next 6 months looks like the last 12, it's game over and I won't be investing in income shares anymore. And that is my honest opinion. If they carry on being how they've been for the last 12 months, there is no way that I would ever have, and these will stay in my portfolio. So what do you think? Are you still holding income shares? Are you waiting for it to be green? Are you moving to YieldMax, Rex shares, etc.? Let me know in the comments. On MSTY, have you invested in the income shares products, or have you invested in the YieldMax products, or are you waiting for more data? Drop your thoughts in the comments, guys. Please give me a like, comment, and subscribe as well, guys. And
to talk about Snowball, if you want 10% off Snowball, please use the promo code below and my link below, Cashflow King, to get 10% off. If you would like to use my pie so you can invest exactly the same as I do and the rest of the people who have also copied my pie, a lot of people have also pulled the trigger on this. If you want to join a Discord also with other like-minded investors, you can do that. Join our Discord, guys. Let's get talking.
Please remember to hit that like and subscribe button, guys, and also hit the notification bell to keep updated with future video. Thank you, guys, and I will see you in the next one.